In this question is the question that has to do with mass volume relationship or stoichiometric of a chemical reaction. So in this stoichiometric, it does what it does is that it shows us how relationship, how substances react in mass, in volume, so and also in moles. So based on that, what we have here now, for us to really understand this thing, we need to go into the chemical relationship that exists in this kind of question. The question says that if a solution containing 4.9 gram of tetrasulfate acid, if a solution contains 4.9 grams of tetrasulfate acid, calculate the amount of copper 2 oxide that will react with it. So now what we have, the first thing we do in order to solve a problem that has to do with this stoichiometry, you need to first get a balanced chemical equation. That's the first thing you are supposed to do. Now let's look at the balanced chemical equation of this reaction. In the balanced chemical equation, that is a reaction between tetrasulfate acid and copper oxide. So what we have here is then, oh, what am I doing? Okay, we have copper sulfate plus what? Water. This is more like acid-base reaction, neutralization reaction. That is, if you look at the chemical reaction, just a neutralization reaction. So in this case, what do we get? Information that we have from this balanced chemical equation. There's some information that you can get there. If you look at this chemical equation, you find out that we have 1 mole is to 1 mole. The mole ratio is 1 is to what? 1. This is very important, which means since we are looking for the amount, that means from the options we have here, is in grams. So what we are going to be doing here, instead of, we can solve this problem in two ways. But then I think the best way is to work based on the what we are giving here, because if you look at this question very well, it has to do with mass to mass stoichiometry. So which means mass of this that we react with that. So from this chemical equation, the mass of tetrasulfate acid that is reacting with copper oxide is what? From here we have oxygen, hydrogen is 2, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16 times 4. That means in everything we have 90 grams of this acid reacting with what? This other one will give us 80 grams of what? Copper oxide. So what do we do next? Now we want to find out the amount in gram that will react with this. So which means 4.9 grams of the acid of tetrasulfate acid will then be, what will give us is 80 over 90 times 4.9. If it's so, I think, let me try it with calculator. So we have 80 times 4.9 divided by 98. So what we have here, it will mean 4 grams of what? Copper oxide. So the best option here, or the correct option, is what? D. So this is just one of the ways of solving this problem. For example, if you don't want to solve it this way again, you can also look at it based on the moles. That means you're going to convert this to moles. You work with moles. Since we are looking for the mass of this, let's see how we can make this thing happen. Let's see how we can make it happen. So how do we make it happen now? We know that 1 mole of this, 1 mole of tetrasulfate acid will react with what? 80 grams of copper oxide. That is what we have. So now we convert this to moles. If we convert it to moles, what we have will be 4.9 divided by 90. That will give us 0.05. Now I want to show you how I got that. You know that mole Mole is equal to mass over what? Molar mass. Now the molar mass is 98 divided by what? The mass given to us, we have 0.05 mole. That is how we got that. So 0.05 mole will then react with how many? Um, we react with 0.05 mole of tetrasulfate 6 acid will react with 80 times 0.05 mole divided by 1. This is which is the 1 mole we have. So by this all together, what do we have? I think we will arrive at the same answer. That will be 4 grams of what? Copper oxide. Copper oxide. That is the thing. Depends on the type of question, the nature of the question. But now, why I said it's better to work based on what you have here is so that you just get your answer straight. Sometimes this conversion, if it's not really what you wanted, what the question says, sometimes you may tend to err. Just like your first one happened to give us the thing straight and direct. Thank you so much for coming this far. I want to encourage you to subscribe if you have not, and share. Make sure you share. Leave your comment if you have any question for us. We'll always attend to you. Thank you so much.